Hello, fight fans. Welcome to episode 5 of the Fight Game with ST. I'm your host, ST, and in today's episode, I'll be reviewing the Benavidez Morrell fight and then looking ahead to what's next for David Benavidez in terms of what he should do options wise. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. And feel free to make comments below, good, bad, neutral. It will go a long way in helping out the show. So without further ado, let's get into it. This was an overall a fantastic fight between two high-class operators, both on the climb, both on the ascent, and more of these types of fights need to happen because ultimately it is very good for the sport. Benavidez was criticised a few years ago for avoiding David Morrell, but in the end he has fought him. Unlike Canelo, who has been avoiding David Morrell and Benavidez for a number of years now, I think there's absolutely no doubt about it. So more of these types of fights happening, guys, is really good for the sport. And I think thanks to Riyadh season, it's having a sort of a trickle effect with other promotional companies like your PBCs of the world, your Top Ranks of the world, Matchroom, Queensberry, etc. And long may this continue. Getting into the breakdown of the fight and the scoring, I scored the contest 114-112 in favour of David Benavidez. Felt the right man ultimately won. My scorecard was in a line with one of the judges, Patricia Morse Jarman, whereby she and I basically agreed on 9 out of the 12 rounds. Steve Weisfeld, who's considered one of the gold standard judges in the United States, and I can see that I have, his scorecards overall have been consistently good. He and I agree on 8 out of the 12 rounds scored in the contest. Tim Cheatham, who bizarrely scored the fight 118-108 for Benavidez. I mean, I think that is quite frankly a ridiculous scorecard for David Morrell, especially from a David Morrell perspective. That did not happen in a million years. And I guess the only thing I can say on that matter is his surname, Cheatham, is quite fitting given the ridiculousness of his scorecard. I don't know why he still gets employed by the the Nevada Commission. But there we go. Looking at the punch stats, Benavidez outlanded Morrell in basically every department in terms of total punches landed, total jabs and power punches. Benavidez's power punches total at 48% to Morrell's 32%. And as the great Jim Lampley used to say, if you're landing about 50%, over 50% of your power punches, it usually means that you've won the fight. So Benavidez was the rightful winner, but the fight was closer on my scorecards than the other ridiculous judge. Like I said, I have no problems with Steve Weisfeld and Patricia Morse-Jarman. 115-111 is acceptable. I scored the contest 114-112. I saw it slightly closer, but I think 118-108 is just absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you. Right, getting into the breakdown of the fight. Round one, I scored it for David Benavidez. I thought he got off to a very good start with his front foot pressure. Morrell was also doing some good things, good slick in and out movement, fast feet, but the better combinations in the middle of the round came from David Benavidez with 3 right hands, cuffing right hooks, followed by a left hook to the body. I scored the first round for David Benavidez. Round 2, Benavidez is again applying good front foot pressure, backing Morrell up against the ropes, landing good combinations, especially with that right hook, that sneaky right hook behind the guard of David Morrell. I would say a little bit illegally at times, especially when he's pulling Morrell's guard down. Morrell is doing some good things, again showing his slickness. Definitely was a slicker boxer out of the two. But I scored this, landed one good left hand, but overall I scored the second round for David Benavidez. Round 3 I scored for David Morrell. I felt he landed good combinations off the ropes, started to walk forward a little bit more. Good jabs, good counter right hook by Morrell, but combinations again coming back from Benavidez later in round 3. However, in terms of the busier work, I felt that was Morrell, which is why I scored round 3 to him. Round 4 was one of the best rounds of the fight, and just reflected on how good the fight was overall. We had good combinations on the ropes by Benavidez, well, by both fighters. Great exchange by both fighters, actually. Great body work by both fighters. I felt though Benavidez was definitely having the better of the round, landing right hooks followed by 2 right uppercuts with a minute left to go, and those were clear standout punches for me in that round. So Benavidez was definitely winning that round until he unfortunately got hurt by a counter right hook by David Morrell towards the end of the round. And as Chris Algieri often correctly has said, the most dangerous punch in boxing is the counter right hook from the southpaw stance to the orthodox fighter, because it's very hard for the orthodox fighter to see that coming. And that's what happened with David Benavidez. Like I said earlier, I thought he was winning round 4. Great right hook, great 2 right uppercuts, but then he got hurt by Morrell with a counter right hook. Clearly wobbled Benavidez's legs, and then he was backed up against the ropes. His legs clearly buckled, and if I saw it, the whole crowd definitely saw it with the way they reacted to Benavidez getting hurt. So because he got hurt towards the end of the round, I scored round 4 for David Morrell. Although Benavidez was winning that until he got hurt. Round 5 I scored it for David Benavidez, again back on the front foot pressure. I wrote it was a slow round, but it was good combinations against the ropes by Benavidez. So I scored that round for him. Round 6, I again scored for David Benavidez. I wrote on my notes: pressure, combinations, great body work. Again, he landed two. He landed. Benavidez landed the clear-cut, eye-catching punches. The clear-cut, eye-catching punches with the 2 left uppercuts and the right hook behind Morrell's guard. Round 7, again, Benavidez. Good hooks. Body by David Benavidez. An uppercut as well. Combinations off the ropes from Morrell, but overall good work by Benavidez. Round 8, I scored for Morrell. I thought he did the better work this round. He landed good counter. He landed good counter left hand combinations in the round as well. So I scored round 8 for Morrell. Round 9, Benavidez, again, great combinations, head and body with uppercuts. Round 10, Benavidez, same thing again, good hooks, body shots. Round 11, I thought Morrell had a fast start, landing good combinations, good counter left hand. Good response by Benavidez later in round 11 though. Right hand by him, left hook to the body. But then Morrell comes back with his own combinations in round 11 and then knocks Morrell down. Then knocks Benavidez down, which should have been a 10-8 round for Morrell, but wasn't, due to Morrell's foolishness of hitting Benavidez after the bell. Why he did that, I don't know. Benavidez was clearly hurt after the bell when Morrell landed that right hand, but it was just a foolish error by Morrell. I mean, I thought he was winning that round before the knockdown anyway. With his combinations and the fast start by Morrell and the combinations again towards the end prior to the knockdown. So I thought he won that round anyway, 10-9 he was winning that round 10-9 on my scorecards, and then with that knockdown it would have been 10-8. But because of the error, it's now 9-8 for Morrell, because obviously the point deduction, which effectively makes it a 10-9 round for Morrell. Round 12, Morrell has a very fast start, good combinations in the first minute. Benavidez comes back in the second minute with great body shots, uppercuts. Minute 3, in the final minute of round 12, I thought Morrell finished strong with a good left hand. So I scored round 12 for David Morrell. So overall, I scored the contest 114 112 in favour of David Benavidez. Like I said, I've got no problem with 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards, 115 111, but 118 108. Sorry, that never happened in a million years. So great fight, a fantastic contest, a true show of warrior display, as Chris Eubank Sr. would put it, between 2 great fighters. In terms of what should happen next for each fighter, starting off with the winner, Benavidez. I think he's given up on the Canelo groovy train, although Canelo Alvarez, with his recent 4-fight deal with Riyadh season, I saw an interview with His Excellency when he said that he will try his best to try and convince Canelo to get into the ring with David Benavidez, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it, hoping for it, because many people have tried to persuade Canelo in the past, I'm sure, to get into the ring with David Benavidez, but essentially Canelo does not want that fight with his ridiculous financial demands of 150 to 200 million. fee that he's asking for. Um, so in terms of what Benavidez should do next, I think the winner of the rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol is the natural option. Although, seeing him, watching him have a fight with Buatsi would certainly whet my appetite, and a lot of fight fans, well, most fight fans' appetite as well, depending on how well Buatsi looks against Callum Smith. I would love to see him in against Anthony Yard, Benavidez versus Yard. What a fantastic fan-friendly fight that would be. Yeah, that would be more of a fan-friendly fight than I would say Buatsi, although Buatsi is a dog himself. But if if Bivol wins the rematch, then Benavidez and Bivol surely will have a trilogy fight. In which case, I think a fight with Buatsi or Yard would be a great option for Benavidez. For Morrell, again, like with David Benavidez, because look, he didn't get blown out of the water against Benavidez. So with Morrell, again, seeing him have a fight against Yard or Buatsi would also whet my appetite, a lot of fight fans' appetite as well. Or perhaps a fight with Vosdick or Hutchinson, perhaps even Albert Ramirez, who was 20-0 with 17 KOs. Although, looking at Albert Ramirez's record, I guess he's he's in one of those who needs him club, like Martin Boccoli. So that's what I think should happen next, moving forwards for both fighters. If you like listening to my views on boxing, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments below. Good, bad, neutral. Go a long way out in terms of helping out the show. Thanks for listening in, guys, and I shall see you all on the next one.